Welcome back to The Black Suit. If it's your first time here, my name is GeGe and I'm a full-time lawyer. I started this channel to provide tips and guidance to empower women in the workplace. So I'm creating this series of videos to help young professionals get acclimated to their workplaces and to get some tips that I wish I had known, or that I did know, some of which I did know, and that I used early on in my career. So this is part 4 of that series. If you're interested in watching parts 1, 2, or 3, I'll link them down below, and I'll also provide a playlist up here if you're interested in checking that out. I provide some useful tips such as how to get acclimated to your work situation, how to interact with your new colleagues, and also I provide some tips on how to handle administrative matters and what administrative matters you need to be aware of that you should handle. So continuing on that series today, I'm going to talk about probably one of the very crucial topics as a young professional, especially as a young lawyer, which is client relationships. So I'm going to go through some tips right now. Stay tuned. So the first tip for client relationships I have here is listening to your clients. You obviously want to know your clients well and know what they value and what their mission statements are and what their goals and what's on their 5-year, 10-year trajectory. By knowing these things, you can really add value to the projects you do for them. You want to be able to show that you are aligned with their goals and your values are aligned with their values, and that you are fully committed to helping them achieve their 5-year, 10-year milestones, whatever direction they're heading in. So definitely get to know clients. Now, as a young professional, you might not have a lot of opportunities to interact directly with clients. Don't let that stop you from, for example, visiting your client's website to see what they're talking about, what they're doing. Follow your clients or key individuals at your client on social media. Follow their Facebook page, for example, or their LinkedIn page, and see what they're talking about, what they're focused on. Get to know a few more of the individuals working at your clients, especially individuals who are your peers. Maybe they're of the same age as you, or have the same interest, or they live in the same neighborhood as you. Even just getting to know those folks will help you down the line, because when those folks move up the ladder and you're moving up the ladder, at some point in time, they will be able to provide more help to you or give you more work, because they're at a place in the corporate ladder where they have the permissions to do that. And you'll be able to benefit from that because you will have established a relationship with them from very early on. And hopefully that relationship builds up over time and becomes something really fruitful for you. So don't hesitate to connect with individuals who are your peers at your client. Now, my next tip is you have to recognize your internal clients. So that means that as a junior person in your company, whether you're in like the legal field or the consulting field or any other fields that are typical these days, like for example tech, you want to know who your internal clients are, because sometimes that's more important than the external clients. Your internal clients are, for example, the senior people who manage you, senior attorneys, partners, all of those types. You want to make sure that you're meeting their needs as well, or you know what their needs are, you pay attention, and you connect with them and see what is it that they are focused on, what they want to get done maybe in the next 5 or 10 years. And that way you are going to more directly add value to your firm. So if you cannot get those external clients to bring in more business to your company, at the very least, be sure to focus on your internal clients, which are the senior people or the people who manage you. And then my next tip is creating an action plan. So you want to create an action plan to track your own milestones and track your own progress, so that you know what you're working toward, and when you get there, you'll know, wow, I've made it. These are the things I've accomplished. So very important to make sure that you're paying attention to your own goals as well, not just the goals of your clients, external and internal clients. Now, your own action plan might include those goals of your internal, external clients. That's probably a good idea. Like, for example, if you have a manager who wants you to get something done within 6 months, or the manager has the goal of getting more work from a particular client within the next 6 months, maybe your action plan will have steps that you can take to help that manager achieve her goals or his goals. Now, the next tip here is building client relationships. Now, this is very important. This is a really interesting fact. 80% of all new business comes from current clients. This is something I've heard numerous times, which is most of the work a company gets comes from its existing clients. So your existing clients are in many ways more important than any other client, any potential client. You want to spend a lot of time focused on those existing clients, because you're more likely to be able to get more work out of them and to build up a stronger relationship with them than you are to be able to get new work or get a new client in the door. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't try to, or that a firm should not focus on getting new clients, but that is more of an uphill battle than just nourishing those relationships that are already existing and trying to get more out of those relationships. Next one is joining bar associations. Now, this is of course for lawyers out there. If you have a local bar association, it's definitely a good idea to get involved. I did some of that early on in my career. I thought it was helpful. It's not going to make or break your career, but it's nice to know other people in the field and to see what others are doing at their firms, so that you can kind of get the pulse on the industry and know what's around the corner, where the industry is headed, what other firms are doing, what other lawyers are doing, or other people who work in the same field as you are doing. It's not really going to be great for building clients, I would say. I haven't seen bar associations necessarily generate that much work for firm lawyers, like especially big firm lawyers. I think maybe for solo practitioners it's more likely, because a lot of big firms might have a certain type of monetary threshold that they need to meet for them to take on a case. So some smaller cases might not meet that threshold, and therefore they will give those smaller cases to solo practitioners. And that's an instance of when bar association would directly lead to more work. But otherwise, I think more likely than not, you're not going to get that much prospects for clients by joining a bar association, but it's still good to join one to meet others. Now, the next tip is getting active in the community. This is really great. I think, if you watch any of my networking videos, or if you're curious about my networking videos, I'll link them up here and down below. You could check them out. I really strongly encourage young career people to get out there, network, because, for example, a lot of jobs are not even posted on job sites like LinkedIn or Indeed.com before when they're available. They are often filled through word of mouth first. And if word of mouth doesn't fill that position, then the companies will turn to a public site or a public job form. So it's very important that you know people so that you get that information directly and you're like the first one to apply when new jobs come up or new opportunities come up. And how do you do that? How do you be the first one? You do that by getting involved with your community and networking this way. I think it's better than joining bar associations because, again, you are not just associating yourself with other attorneys, you're associating yourself with perhaps business types, people in other industries like finance or tech or consulting, people who have access to a different pool of clients than you do or your firm does. And through those connections, you're more likely to get prospects. You're going to have better prospects that have a higher possibility of generating real work or real client, a new client for you or your firm. Moving on to the next tip here, considering a niche. I think that nowadays it's pretty crucial to have a specialty because the law just gets more and more complex. More laws are being made each year. More laws are being supplemented each year or amended. So it's important to have a specialization so that you can be the person who's the go-to person when that particular area of law is at issue in any given case. So I think it's a marketing tool, really, is if you have a niche, then you can say I'm an expert in something, and you're more likely to get work because you're known for something. Like if you were just a generalist, you're not really known for anything, so you might not be the first person that pops up in your manager's mind when they have new work come in and need somebody to help out. Now that's not to say, like I said earlier, I think in part 1 or 2 of this series, I mentioned a tip where I suggested that you should seek out different opportunities to do work, do different kinds of work, not just do one thing and be only known for that one thing. I think that's true early on in your career, but as you progress in your career, you want to have a specialty. You want to be known for something because I think it makes you more marketable, really. So keep that in mind as you move on in your career. Next tip is networking inside the firm. You want to network inside the firm. Again, as I said earlier, you got to be aware of your internal clients too. You want to network inside the firm because that's how you get those internal clients, get their trust, know what they want from you, and then through that you can move up the ladder, so to speak, and be a valuable asset to the firm. So you want to network, talk to other people, don't just sit in your office all day. Get out of your comfort zone, really, get to know people, see what they're doing, and that'll give you some ideas of things you can do, the potential for you to exhibit your skills more and really show how you can add value to the firm. And my last tip today is marketing yourself with your resume. Of course, it's obvious your resume is what you first present to a potential employer. You want your resume to look good for future employment opportunities. And beyond that, you want your resume to look good for clients or potential clients. So your firm bio, your bio that goes up on your company's website should be well written and really tout the things you've done well. Like, don't be afraid to just put everything on there. You know, your bio can be really long. It doesn't need to be like a one-page resume. You want to put on there all the awards you've gotten, all the community involvement, community events you participated in your publications, your speaking events, what kind of cases you've done, what kind of cases you've won, what kind of projects you've handled successfully, how did you handle them, what was the result that you generated for the client. And if you're like a litigator like I am, you want to mention what kinds of motions you've successfully argued, what kinds of clients you've assisted with the company type litigation, that kind of thing. And I think marketing yourself is very important in other industries as well, not just in law. Again, like if you're a consultant, anytime you have a bio that is going to go on your company's website, you want to make sure that you're just padding that bio and getting all your best work and your best accomplishments front and center, because people do look. I've seen plenty of professionals link their bios and their email signatures too. I think that's really helpful because people will be curious when they see an email from you, like, who is this person? Should I trust this person? How good is this person? Why should I trust this person? What does he or she know that can help me? All of that. Those are my tips for part 4. I hope they were useful to you. Again, if they were, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.